Hey everyone, it's your boy Doc Williams, and tonight we're going to be talking about how you're going to be able to build apps and micro SaaS ideas using AI. So we're going to be breaking this down, and I have none other than Mr. Hackathon along for the ride today. How we doing, man?
Hey, I'm great, thank you.
As we talk about this today, we're going to be looking at a very unique way or positioning what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about scraping, data scraping, and then we're going to be talking about what kind of platform you can be using to get this done. So, the first thing is we're going to talk about the different tools we're going to use, the possible things that we could try to scrape, and more importantly, we're going to try to build something today and see different use cases. Remember, the whole purpose of this is using these ideas and seeing how you could be doing this for yourself as well in your business and or your community or impact on the world. So we're going to be talking about a couple different options. We're going to be building it out. And please, in the comment section, please let us know if you're watching this on replay, do hashtag replay, or if you're watching this live, let us know in the chat what you're trying to build and what questions you have about AI, MCPs, Replit, Lovable, all of those different things. We're going to be talking about that today. So, first of all, we're going to be bringing up kind of what we're planning to do. And I think, you know what? I think it's important we kind of talk about what web scraping is, what the purpose is, and then we'll talk about tools, and then we'll talk about use cases. So, um, Dominic, what if I go first, and then if you have anything to add, and then I'll flip it when we go to the next section? Is that okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so when we're thinking about web scraping, let's just make it real simple. We're going to get data from a website and be able to automate the process of grabbing that information and then storing it somewhere. And if we want to manipulate the data, we can do that as well. So, web scraping allows you to look at a website, grab that information, and then be able to basically use it based on your own target demographic or what you want for your own business. Let's go for an example. Say, for instance, you're an e commerce business and you want to track the pricing of a certain item on Amazon. You could be scraping Amazon for the constant pricing of what's going on and then be able to then bring that information into your own business. Either that could change the pricing of your own product, or you could use that data to then decide to make other business decisions. That's just one example. So, we're going to talk about other tools that we can use and then our use case and what we're going to do. But, Dominic, is there anything else you want to add about web scraping before we talk about the different options and tools?
Nothing that you haven't covered already. Right now, there's a lot of conversation about AI web scraping and agentic web scraping, where all you have to do is say the type of data you want, and now typically it will go and find the data. Previously, and many years ago, I have videos on PassHub and I can't even remember the other platforms that I used to use. And you used to have to go to the website, you used to have to select the elements and then like really manually create that automation. Sometimes it will fail and you would try it over and over again. Um, but now we moved into a new era of gathering data and utilizing data. And the opportunity here is that there's a lot of websites out there that don't have accessible APIs or that you can't connect to really easily. And by a web scraping, you can, and it's still in quite a gray area for a lot of websites, you can layer an application on top of that and build really interesting features, especially in the age of AI, on top of really valuable data sets.
Yeah, that's a great point. And also too, I like how you mentioned in the gray area, depending on what you're trying to do and where you are, your business could be built on sand. For example, shout out to like Gummy Search, which I really liked their platform for years, where it scrape Reddit and different subreddits. Well, guess what? The usage changed around Reddit, and he has to shut down his whole operations this year. So it's sad, but just because how much the API and what they're doing and everything like that, that business has gone away. And then also other businesses or micro SaaS offerings where it was built on Twitter because the API is ridiculously expensive. The business totally changed. It had to shut down. So, to your point, depending on how you're getting the data, what kind of sites you use, that's something to keep in mind. And also today, I think we're going to talk about some really unique opportunities in depending if what country you're in, that could be a gold mine that are open and could really be an opportunity. So, can we go through, Dominic, a couple tools that we could be looking at, and then we kind of talk about use cases?
Yeah, definitely.
Because everyone loves tools. Everyone loves tools. Where I can't I can't be mad at anyone else because I download way too many tools and sign up for way too many free tiers. So I'll go with a couple of mine, and then if you want to talk about a couple that you mentioned too.
Yeah.
So we have Browser Act, we have Browser Use, and then Firecrawl. Browser Act right now is on AppSumo for a lifetime deal. I'll put the link down below. But this allows you, again, to use smart templates from a single prompt, again, using AI to start mapping out what you can be doing. Also, too, one of the promises that they have is it's going to allow you to, if the website changes, it's still going to be able to adapt. In the past, if a website UI UX changed, it would fail and it would just break your tool. So there's a couple ways how it's matching and making sure it doesn't mess up. So that's the tool that I'm going to be talking about and trying it out. I haven't tried it out, so I just got it. I'm going to be trying it and going from there. And Dominic, you brought up two different other tools too. You
Yeah,
want to talk
so I
about it?
brought up Browser Use, and this is for agentic um, browsing. So you could tell it, hey, I want you to complete this form for me, and it can just go and complete the form for you. It can sign in as you if you want it to, and complete the form for you. We're going to use a feature it has called Skills, and Browser Use Skills allows you to turn any website into an API. So in a previous video, I created a tutorial on how to get petition data from the government website in the UK. And the value of that is that I built an application on top of that, which was an AI-based application where you type in natural language, just in regular human language, things you're interested in or what you're thinking about. And it's going to go and get open petitions based on what you're thinking about. And then the back end is using Browser Use Skills to go to the government's petition website, look at the open petitions, and see which ones are relevant to what you're actually interested in. The government don't have an API to be able to do that. So it allows us to build a really interesting application on top of that. If we was to take that a step further, we could, if we have the user's information, we can automatically apply or sign petitions on their behalf. So you can do really, really interesting things. Something to remember always when you're watching me and Doc, a lot of the stuff we're talking about is a little bit cutting edge. So you're not going to see a lot of people talking about this on YouTube channels or even in person. We're builders, we love to build. And a lot of it is like really, especially when it comes to me, really unique ways of using the technology. The second one is Firecrawl. So I think Firecrawl is a little bit older than Browser Use, but Firecrawl is super, super interesting. They're always releasing really great features, but you can do stuff such as turn any URL or any website into clean data you can use in your application. You can gather data anywhere on the internet, just tell the AI what you want, and it's going to go and get the data that you need. If you think about really, really practical use cases and not silly use cases like the ones I usually build, practical use cases, this could be grants for you. This could be a list of funding angels in your city. This can be a list of events for Christmas and computer science. So this can be anything that it can scrape, and you can use this in your applications. We always talk about building for people that might be carpenters or plumbers, or maybe you're a hairstylist. There's lots of really interesting applications you can build on top of this if you get really creative.
Yeah, super interesting, super interesting. Let's see the pricing tier. So it starts at $0 for
Yeah.
500 credits. So 500 credits is 500 pages. Interesting. So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I like very straightforward credit usage right there.
Yeah.
Okay, 3,000 for 16. Not horrible. Build yearly or 19. Still not terrible, depending on what you're trying to build and everything. And it allows you to get started into it, really. Fascinating, fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, great stuff, great stuff. Also too, real quick, Dominic, I'm not even sure if we talked about this, but I wanted to show it to the audience as well. Um, Especially because we just finished up with Launch Labs, the launch of that. So everyone that's a member, you're going to be getting emails tomorrow. Thank you so much. If you're in the partner network like Dominic or others, we have some really interesting things that we're going to be doing. So stay tuned. And then also too with Lovable, I made a new subdomain, just tools.launchlabshq.com, where I'm just basically categorizing all of the different tools that we talk about, just building what it is, key features, integrations best for. And then you can also compare up to 5 different tools, talk about what it does, pros and cons, pricing and everything. And again, I keep coming back to Lovable. I keep bouncing to Replit, but I keep coming back to Lovable over and over again. So interesting stuff. So if you want to see more of the products listed, or if you want me to add one, please let me know. This is a growing list. And one last thing, as we get through this, this stream is sponsored by Hire 8X. We have a brand new program coming out with them. But basically, if you're looking to add your skills into this marketplace, you can sign up for Hire 8X right now to join today. We have a free training program and alliance that we're building with them. So if you're interested, make sure that you let me know in the link down below and you can sign up. And now you can be part of this connection with Launch Labs and Hire 8X and start earning today. So if you're already a AI developer, you're also learning about vibe coding or have a very unique skill set and you want to join and get paid, let me know. You can join right now. The link is going to be down below. And please, as you register as talent and let them know that you came from Launch Lab. So if you're interested, let me know in the chat down below and we'll get you all started. So remember, if you're signing up, let them know that you have come from Launch Labs, and that way they can tag it appropriately and you can get all the benefits and everything like that. So that being the case, let's get right into building and look into this. So we were talking about different things to scrape or to test out. There has been a newsletter for years that I knew about, and that was basically called Data is Plural. It's pretty interesting. It's a it just like it's been around for years. I heard about it about maybe 3 or 4 years back, but basically this allows you to have tons of different data sets to either scrape, do different things with this information, but it also allows you to get started or kind of jogs your memory of what's possible, of what we can start scraping or get information to go from there. So Dominic and I, we have an idea what we want to do. Uh, as usual, we'll probably build at the same time and go in different directions and then share along the way. Dominic, where would you like to start? What would you like to talk about as we go down this road and start building something?
Yeah, so I just clicked on the first one. I do find so it's an open database of congressional campaign policy platforms. So what platform are they standing on for their campaigns? Obviously, it has thousands of different campaign data. So if you go to explore,
Yep. Wow.
so here it does have a UI view, which is cool. You can download the CSV, which is also cool. I'm not sure if they're continuously updating it and you try to download the CSV, what you will have is static data versus having the dynamic data if they're continuously updating the site. And so maybe we want to web scrape live in our API call. I will use browser use. I do want to think of a use case. So I am thinking about maybe policy research. I'm playing around with ideas with Polymarket. For those that don't know, Polymarket is a prediction market. Prediction markets are the new kind of, I guess, I don't know how to describe it. Prediction markets are maybe if I can show Kalshi or Polymarket and people can get a better idea of how prediction markets are.
And by
So
the way, just for the YouTube algorithm, we have to be careful with certain words because they always demonetize.
is,
So
is prediction market okay?
prediction market
As
is
long as I
okay.
don't use like another G word, right?
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. You got it, man. Thank you so much. I can bring it up right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is crazy.
See, you talk about the YouTube algorithm. Maybe we
I
go to
know, right?
politics. If you click on the politics
Have
tab,
you
also,
been on this platform before? Like, have you
yeah,
done
yeah.
any predictions on this thing?
I haven't done any predictions, so I'm not. I build tools for these kind of platforms, but and similar in the crypto space, I was building tools. I wasn't a deep. I don't put a lot of money in it.
Yeah,
My interest is
very
building
interesting.
tools for the people using it, and I do think this is interesting. I think in sports you have a lot of interesting things going on. Uh, with these types of things. So if we go to politics, there's a tab at the top. And so you can see really interesting things. People are speculating whether or not something will happen, or they're speculating, let's say, who will Trump nominate as the Fed chair? And they're speculating. So prediction markets are essentially speculating a lot easier than stocks, a lot easier than lots of different things. It's trying to open up the market. And what sophisticated people are doing is like really using a lot of nuance in a particular industry. So if you have a particular perspective on, let's say, the US government right now, and you like to use specific data sets to be able to speculate on what will happen, what will not happen, they will build sometimes their internal tools, sometimes they won't even build a tool, but they will use that information to help them speculate. So I think something like that could be particularly interesting here. For example, let's take who will Trump nominate as the Fed chair? And what I might do is go and build something based on, I'm sure Trump is in that database somewhere. What is his platform that he run on, and what are the promises he made, and what's his bio, and how does it align with the views of the other people? And does the predicted like we see 58% there, does it align with Trump's platform and what he's run on?
Fascinating. This is just fascinating. I saw CoffeeZilla talking about it, and I see this in my feed all the time. But I was
Yeah.
just like, I just can't emotionally take it right now. So I was like, nah, look at this later. I'll look at this later. It's so
So
fascinating.
it is interesting. There, Kalshi now, I think $1 billion company now.
How long
Um,
has it been around?
Not long. I think maybe less than 2 years. I'll
Bro,
just
that is insane. As we're getting started, Clarity, I would just like to say thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate all the just warm wishes and being here. Really appreciate you stopping by and being here. Please let us know how we can help. And as always, Clarity, thank you so much for supporting the stream and for being here and watching. So hopefully we're going to be doing a lot of streams in the next 2 weeks, building things out for this break while people are visiting friends and family and chilling for the next 2 weeks. So you're going to be seeing a lot of these. So again, thank you so much, Clarity, for being here. You're awesome. And thank you so much for the time and energy being here. Let us know, everyone, where you're watching from, country, time zone, all of those kind of things. Let us know. Okay. Okay, you're going to go that route.
yeah.
So interesting. So interesting.
So yeah, it's been around 4 years, so really not long at all.
Yeah.
Again, billion-dollar company. But I am going to build something that's like helps you make predictions on that platform.
Fascinating. Okay, cool. And as you're doing that, let me take a look at data is plural to kind of get an idea of what I want to do and talk about a couple things. And then we're going to try out these different tools. Again, Dominic's going to use one, I'm going to use the other and kind of test it out and then start building. So what I'm going to do probably, I want to do, let's take a look at, these are recent. Let's go back. Just seeing what catches my eye or something where I am going to be able to scrape data that I think I want to use. US buildings, that's interesting to me. Let's see. NYC evictions. That's interesting.
So what does that have in it? NYC evictions.
That's what I'm going to look into. What I want to see is, let's see, evictions. Government publishes a data set listing evictions pending, scheduled, or executed since 2017.
That's interesting. I think
Mm-hmm.
what I'm not sure if Data is Plural would have it, but I think what could be interesting is there's certain areas that I can't remember what it is called, but people might have not paid property their
Yep.
taxes on the property, and the house is just abandoned. And often, if you pay the property taxes, you can get the property. I think that's the way it
Mm-hmm.
works.
Mm-hmm.
But you just have to pay the taxes on it, and you can get it. Um, but that information is not easily accessible, almost by design.
Yes. And that reminds me of, shout out to Mike Rubini, who's been on the show a couple times. I think we have a podcast. If it hasn't come out yet, it will come out soon. But he has a couple different micro SaaS in his portfolio. I'm looking at his other one. Hold on. I got to look at Mike's page to find his whole thing right here. Collect data. Look at this. I had to go this roundabout way to find him. Okay. Products. He has something just like what you mentioned called Fastlane, Tax Lien and Deeds Research Software. Now, this is
Yeah.
more a national for, I think, very specific areas. He partnered with another company that does training, but this allows you to see tax liens, see the tax sales list to start looking at options of, again, like you were saying, can you just pay the taxes on that property
Mhm.
and go from there? But maybe I think a very specific area like Washington, D.C., there's a lot of nuances. So you could start really specific on that kind of thing and go from there. So I like what you're saying right there.
Yeah.
Let me look into that. Hold on one second. And then right here, it mentions this is NYC open data. This data set lists executed evictions within the 5 boroughs from 2017 to now. Eviction data is compiled in New York. Marshall can be found here on this page. Oh, wow. Tells you name and badge number.
So
Unit.
I might even do that if I'm not sure we'll have time today, but I think doing something related to that could be super interesting. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Even if we don't do it today, I would probably do it. And they do have a live API apparently.
Interesting.
So let's
The
see.
endpoint right here. Yeah.
Okay. So if you put that URL in the browser, what actually comes up?
Let's take a look.
Oh, okay.
Authentication
Yeah.
required.
You
Authentication.
need API keys, I think.
Yeah. And a token. Okay.
I did see something about, and I think it was New York too. Maybe Limebite data is open source, or one of these bikes that you kind of get in New York. Let's see. Let me try to.
Let's see. Requires authentication. View this. Now let's see about if the version. Oh, look at the soda. The 2 doesn't need authentication. So what does that look like? Okay. All right. Let's try this out real quick. Okay. I've got to move some tabs. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Let's do this. Let's see what happens with those. I'm going to bring up. Do you use Firecrawl?
Yeah, I've used Firecrawl before.
Okay. I've got that
Right
one.
now, I'm using browser use. So I'm kind of going through the process using browser use.
Cool. I'm going to go these two. I'm going to use Firecrawl. I'm going to share my screen again. Let me create this real quick in AppSumo. Sign up for this Browser Act. And let's get to work. Okay, so Browser Act. Let me activate it. Signing up for it right now. Signing up. Okay, let's save this. Signing up right now. Awesome. Okay, cool.
So I am just testing mine right now. Hopefully it works.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite sure if it's going to work, but we'll see right now. It does take a while. So what it does, at least browser use, but they all kind of do the same thing, is because you're using natural language. Let's say I have something that I can see a YouTube comment scraper, and I recently made something for Kelshi to do this. So the application I made for the YouTube comment scraper is I had a theory that the comment section of videos tells you way more about the video than maybe the video itself, because that is the social sentiment of the audience or the public. And so with the prediction markets, let's say Trump is imposing tariffs on a Joe Rogan video, I'm looking at the comments of what people are actually saying to gauge people's social sentiment about a particular issue. Some issues that won't have an impact, but some issues, the public social sentiment does actually have an impact. And so I was using web scraping and I was using browser use to be able to get the YouTube comments. And what it does, it goes automatically. I just say, hey, I want the YouTube comments of this video. I want the top 20 comments. And it just goes and does it itself. Again, we mentioned a real estate use case, we mentioned politics use case, but if you think about any use case, you need data, and the data might not be in the cleanest format. Or you'll go into this website to get this, and this website to get this, and this website to get this. This is where browser automation can come in.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see real quick. I need to get data is plural here. Where did I just put this? Where was that? Where's that New York eviction one? There we go. New York evictions. Listing evictions. Let's look at actions, API, switch it over to this version. Copy to clipboard. Let's try this out. Okay, cool. So right here, I'm pulling information or testing out, bringing in this information. Okay, so first it says input parameters. Set, let's see, set inputs that run that needs to start. Okay, cool. Prompt parameters for each one. That's interesting. Then the browser. Pretty interesting. Okay. Let's go with, so we have AI workflows, MCP ready. Interesting. Agents are in beta. Credential center, integrations and APIs. Connect your browser with any app or API. Okay, so use bear. Run task. Interesting. All right, let's just create one and see what happens. Design precise, reusable pipelines for complex stuff. Okay. Add parameter. Let's see. NYC evictions. Evictions. Let's take a look here. Let's grab this. Getting the NYC eviction information via API. Let's take a look. So add input data, okay. Website auto login. Prompt for credentials each time it runs. Enter credentials each run. I don't think we really need to do that for this one.
So I think what that is what you can actually do is log in as you. So if you think about, I don't know, maybe LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a little bit hard to scrape historically. And it's different if the browser is acting like a human. So there are a lot of websites where it can log in as you to get the information it needs.
That makes sense. For this one, because it's public,
Yeah,
I don't really. Turning that off, but that makes sense with LinkedIn and having that for sure. Let's see, stored credentials. Use credentials already authorized for this workflow. Ignore authorized credentials. So let's turn it off. Now here's the thing right here. So it says browser. Set the browser environment for this to run. US residential. Activates an ad blocker to block ads. That's interesting. Okay. Now let's see what we have right here, which is interesting. Visit page, click element, input text, scroll down, scroll to element, pagination, wait. Let's see, extract data. Maybe because it has the API, this wouldn't be the best thing for it right here.
Yeah. But even then, it has an API, but maybe the API, maybe the data you need is a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Say that last part again, Dominic.
Maybe the data you need is a little bit different to what they're offering in the API. Because the
Ah, that's
API
true.
might not give access to everything that it has.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this data, but it might not give access to everything.
No, let's see about this for a second. Visualize. No. Access. What about query data? Let's see about this. So what if we go here on this page and then be able to do that? Let's see about real quick. Question. What are you building? Great question. So right now we're building a web scraper using AI. And this way we can look for business opportunities. Right now, we got something where the evictions for NYC. I'm thinking if we get the eviction notice, number one, I see two different ways. If I was going to sell that information for others that maybe are trying to represent people that have been evicted falsely or want to fight the case, I could be doing something like that for that kind of business. I could also see it if I had a business where I wanted to represent someone or help them with their eviction, perhaps that's another way going for that data. But right now we're looking for public or basically public data that we can then use to see pulling that and then experimenting with it. Then we can do something else. Maybe going to tax liens and seeing if we could start automating the process of going from there. What tech stack are we using? Browser Act. Yeah. Yep. So we're using Browser Act. Also, Dominic is going to be using, what are you using? Not Firecall. What are you going to use?
Browser use. So I try to use browser use. I try to use it on the congressional campaigns, a database of like an open database of congressional campaigns. It's been going for 6-7 minutes, so I don't think it's going to do that. So I'm going to find a different data set to kind of work with.
Mm-hmm. Here, we're going to go with data, extract data right here. So that's going to be the next module. We'll say full page, capture the page area. It says full page or visible area. Enter the data field to be collected. I wonder if I can do full page for this, and then if I could describe the columns that we're looking for. Let's try it out. So I'm going to go with full page, enter the data field to be collected, or use the slash to reference a parameter. Okay. So we're going to say court index number. We got a couple of these. Ooh. Let's see evictions. Now, how do they know that? Let's see about this. That's interesting. Let's see what it does here. I'm interested. Let's see, view sample. Extract first 20 products. I'm going to do something like that, actually. Let's do this here. Let's try it. 20 products, or let's just go with each one. docket number. I think that's important. Eviction address. Go from here. Go here, eviction. I'm sure there's a faster way. Dominic, I know you're busy, but if you see something you're like, yeah, you could do this a lot quicker, let me know. See, executed. I think executed date. Marshall, yeah, executed date. Marshall first name. Marshall last name. I need executed date so we can see how recent this is. Let's just see what it does. Okay. And, you know, this is the thing that you just got to track sometimes. Residential, commercial, we should know that. Not ejectment. Oh, that's interesting. Eviction, postcode. We need that if we're going to email or send, you know, addresses, everything. I don't know what an NTA is. Court district. Let's just see if we can do these. So how many are these? First, let's say columns or details. Now how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. First 9 details. And I'm going to put this somewhere. I'm just going to copy this information because no matter, the one thing that drives me to madness is if I do all this work and then somehow I lose that data and I have to redo this manually, I'll just go off the deep end. So let me just copy this and paste this real quick. And Dominic, let me know when you want to share too. I don't want to hog this as I'm doing this. Okay. Sure. I have too many tabs open.
Hey Doc, can you hear me? I think you're actually frozen right now.
I might be.
Oh, okay, you're back. You're frozen again. I'm not sure if it's my internet.
Hold on 1 second. Okay, what about now? Am I back, Dominic?
I think so. Yeah. Hello?
Sorry about that.
Okay, yeah. You was frozen for a second, so I'm not sure if it was me or you.
Nah, I think it was me. Okay. In abnormal situation filtering. Let's try this. The only thing is browser, set the browser environment. Okay. Run browser engine. Great. Extract the following. Great. Now let's see build and run. The workflow does not have a published runnable version yet. Okay, that's fine. So we have this. Visit page. Well, yeah, that's what I need.
I'm currently waiting for browser use to do a test scrape. What I did is the congressional data, the campaign data, it wasn't working for me. And so
Mm.
I just went to Kelshi and I'm scraping all the events from Kelshi. And I think what I might try to do, if it works, I'm not even sure if it's going to work. What I might try to do is create a strategy, like what events are connected, what events are disconnected, like kind of a relational map between events on Kelshi,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. So if I go to Kelshi now, if you place a prediction on who will Trump nominate as Fed chair, how does that impact other stuff?
Ooh.
So there's other predictions on there that are like related to that. Uh, you have who will President Trump pardon this year? Those two might be related. They might not be related. Um, so
I
yeah,
like that.
but that's dependent on browser use. So it failed to create the skill again.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's like this. So it failed to create two skills, which is super interesting. I might head to Firecrawl and try Firecrawl now because we do have limited time. I can't spend a lot of time trying to do this forever.
Mm-hmm. So we have here new tab execution. Okay. Set up when it runs to start. Visit page.
So I might be able to share my screen and kind of, if I can find it. I'm not sure if I can find it. Talk about something I might productionize or
Sure.
create a product around. I just had to find my previous conversation with Grok.
Okay.
Uh,
Let's try this. Okay, so this is our workflow. I just published it. Let's start and do this. There's no collection nodes in the workflow, but no output nodes. There are collection nodes. Do you want to continue? What I need to do here. Let's look at this real quick. Let's do this here. Let's take a look at this. Start. Input parameters, which is the page, the URL, max result 20. All right, so let's take a look at what it would look like for mine. Oh, did I have the other one? Okay, so what would the output be? Finish output data, finalize an output. Let's add that. So the output would be a CSV output as a file. Let's do that. Wait a minute. Oh, Dominic, you said you wanted to share. I apologize.
No, well, okay. I'll go ahead and share.
You see what happens? Right when I'm doing this, I'm too in it. Just yell at me as I'm doing this.
Share screen.
Real quick, as we're doing this, awesome catching up this late, but definitely rewatch later. Keep up the great work. Long-time subscriber. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. All the best of the holiday season, you and yours, Doc. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Joe. Appreciate you being here, watching late night. My goodness. I don't know where you are in the world, but thank you so much for the time. Thank you so much for being on the journey and always for the support and the kind words. Let me add to stage. I'm going to remove mine, and then here we go. Okay.
So there was a guy, and I don't think, I mean, I know this might be kind of viral. I'm not sure if this counts as viral. But basically, I don't know if the story is true or not, but I found in my life the story to be true in just the companies I worked at. Long story short, there was rumors going around about an IPO for the company, and the executives were being tight-lipped. However, they had a chief people officer that was amazing and close with the CEO, and they loved her, but she was leaving. And they were like, why? He was like, why is she leaving if they love her, everything's going well? Well, for them to IPO, they needed to signal something different to the market, but they wanted to kind of keep it quiet initially. So there was a period of time where she was transitioning. And that was a soft indicator that something was going on. And it got me thinking, are there these kind of soft indicators throughout life? If we have an example in sports, right, and you might have seen this in sports doc, sometimes the GM might bring a particular coach in, and that indicates that there's going to be changes. So maybe at the beginning, the coach might not make any adjustments to the team. Maybe they bring him in as the assistant coach. And this has been like a really famous case, or this happens a lot. A coach is brought in as the assistant coach. In 1 or 2 years' time, they become the head coach. They were always kind of primed, especially if they have a resume of head coaching before. They were always primed to be the head coach, but they needed to be a soft transition. So it indicates that something is going on and something's about to happen. If you are the US or UK and you're about to go to war and it hasn't been made public yet, the preparations of war happen way before the announcement happens. And the question is, can we find these indicators and can we leverage them on prediction markets or crypto markets or whatever markets you want? So that is what I'm kind of playing around with. What I initially did, I don't have the conversation in Grok anymore, but I did have the conversation in Grok. I fed Grok this post, and I was talking to Grok about this kind of situation, and I asked Grok, hey, can we apply this? Like, am I just imagining this? Can we apply this to other situations? And Grok said, yeah, this can be applied to other situations. Here it's generalizing the trend, and it's like a private company hiring for a CFO for a public company, or adding an independent directors with audit experience can signal an IPO, or a team hiring injury prevention specialists or expanding medical staff signals like a championship window push. And it said the Warriors did this in 2022. Or a senator hiring social media teams or national policy advisors signals that they want to go on a presidential run. Does that make sense?
I think it does. Yeah, that's very interesting. That is a very interesting use case.
Yeah. So we want to build something around this. I'm tired of researching, tired of failed runs with browser use and playing around with Firecrawl. I want to get building. I don't know what I'm going to build yet. I am going to come to back to browser use and Firecrawl, but want to build something around this. And I don't know what tab I had it in. Um, so I have this here, and it said, "Would you like to apply?" It's calling it a tea leaves framework, and I kind of like that. But what I want to say is, what kind of apps can I build around this for prediction markets? It's going to give me an idea. I'm going to take one of the ideas, and in under 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and build something in that space. So that's what I'm going to do right now.
I love it. Hey, real quick, Dominic, as you're doing this, if you're in Gemini right now, are you in the
Yeah.
build mode or are you in the chat? Could you show the good people like how you started this process?
Yeah, for this conversation actually started in Grok, and Grok was very good for this because Grok has all the like X data. So Grok was
Mm,
like using X data, which was like perfect. Um, but right now I'm in Gemini, kind of like synthesizing the idea. Remember, it started as me seeing this tweet and being like, oh, I think something's there. And then I'm talking to Gemini saying, okay, let's try and build a system around this. And now we started to build a system. It's not all the way there, but we started to build a system. And we're going to ask it for micro app ideas to help prediction markets. I don't know what to call it, but prediction market players or people that are interested in prediction markets. I'm just going to say research is not good English, but Gemini understands me.
I like it.
And now it's brainstorming micro app ideas. And I'm going to take one of those ideas. I might ask it to create a prompt for it. I might not, depending on what it comes up with. I'm going to throw it in build mode in Google AI Studio. To me, one of the best tools for prototyping ideas. You can see this. I'm not sure why it's called Iowa Migrant Tracker. Not sure. And I would ask some stuff like that. I just ask him, I'm like, why did you call this Iowa Migrant Tracker? But the concept is staff movement precedes candidate announcements. So high level political staffers changing their location on social media or LinkedIn to early primary states. Um, so I kind of like that. I kind of like that. And it synchronizes well with the prediction markets, like who will Trump nominate as Fed chair or who will leave their role in the Trump administration this year. So that's super interesting. So I'm sure there's signals that signal Kash Patel will leave his role. That is public information.
Interesting.
So I'm going to build this. Uh, And I'm going to adjust it a little bit because it's focused on Iowa. I don't really care about that. The concept is staff movement precedes candidate announcements or changes. I'm going to say or administrative changes. And it says the tea leaf or the kind of indicator is high-level political staffers changing their location on social media or LinkedIn. I don't think that covers it enough. I'm going to say expand the tea leaf to encompass general subtle indicators for the concept. And again, like we talk about vibe coding, but I don't think there's a name for what I'm doing right now because I'm not quite coding. I'm kind of like using AI as a thought partner to really flesh out the idea. And similar to what me and Doc do sometimes, I do a lot with AI, and I'm just saying, hey, this is kind of interesting. Let's discuss this. Let's take it in this direction.
I like that.
And you can see it's generated detectable data points that a market prediction player could monitor to predict a campaign launch or an administrative shakeup. If there's a sudden scrubbing or lacking of social media accounts, we can see advanced team hiring staff who specialize in advanced event logistics rather than policy, frequent travel to certain states. So what I'm going to do is just tell it bullet point these data points. So I'm working all of this to try and create my system for my micro app. So in my micro app, what I'm going to do is have the user maybe input the URL for Kelshi that they're interested in, or maybe they can just select what they're interested in. But for now, we'll just allow them to input the URL for Kelshi, and then it's going to apply the system that we have. It's going to research the internet and then compare it to these kind of things that we have here, and then find underpriced opportunities. That is the goal, Doc. I hope I haven't lost you along the way.
No, this is great. This is great. In the chat, as you're watching this on replay or watching this, let us know what you're thinking. Does this give you ideas? This is really good. And especially like you were saying, I think this also helps people to kind of flesh out or think about what would be in their niche and how they can have a lot of different opportunities even before they start building.
Yeah. So again, just building out this prompt for Google AI Studio. So we have our concept or our kind of underlying thesis. Staff movement precedes candidate announcement or administrative changes. And I have my list of different data points. And I'm going to go to Google AI Studio. I'm going to say a web app that analyzes I'm going to say a web app that researches the web to generate predictions on, and I'm kind of thinking out loud here, a web app that researches the web to generate prediction on Kelshi prediction markets. want to compare results with current predictions to find underpriced or overpriced opportunities. So Gemini knows what I want to build. And what I'm going to do is throw this in and just let me know if I lose you, Doc, because sometimes I just go on. I have concept here, but I'm going to change it to something like thesis. And I'm going to change social staff movement to social indicators. Proceed candidate announcement and administrative changes. And what do I want to happen? I want the user should input the Kalshi event address. I'm going to say analyze the Kalshi event, then search the web.
As you're doing this, just real quick, so I'm saying hello. I'm new to Web3. Well, thank you so much for joining. We're talking about a little bit of Web3 things containing AI and this kind of thing. Let us know where you are starting in Web3. What kind of space? All those things: crypto, AI, machine learning. What are we doing? Sorry about that, Dominic.
No. And this again, just thinking out loud. We're nearly there. So the user should input the Kalshi address, analyze the Kalshi event with Gemini, and then research the web to find data points to support predictions. Find underpriced or overpriced opportunities. Now, this might, again, I'm not a finance professional. I am not even a prediction market professional. I am just a curious builder. So this might not be how you would use Kalshi in reality, or might not be a good research strategy, but it is a fun build. So we're just going to hit build. We are going to give it some time, Doc, to build. It might take a minute or two. And we can jump over to you.
Okay. Now, as that's happening, right when I'm creating these new API keys, give me one second. Let me put this over here for a second. So that's really good. I like that. Very fascinating. Always new things, Dominic, when you're doing these things.
Yeah.
Always, I'm like, oh, I'm doing this over here. You always make me think, which is really awesome. What I'm doing real quick is I am first creating a few things. And what I mean by that is I am using Browser Act in a moment to connect it with Make, and I'm looking at other things to do with it. So right now I am finishing up making keys and things like that. So I will show it after I'm done. But what's happening is I'm going to connect it in a moment and show you this, and then be able to do more automation in a moment. So I'm saving this information. I'm connecting it. Okay, cool. Search workflows, my workflows. Okay, cool. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, let me make sure I'm doing it okay. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to switch screens. I'm going to remove yours and put mine back.
Okay.
Okay, so what was I doing here? If people were looking at what we were doing, or you're watching on replay or following along, what I'm doing is I'm testing out different scraping techniques. And so what we did was we were looking at the New York City evictions, seeing if we could pull the records and then be able to just have the records, and could we do other things with it. And let me show you what I did. Go to home, and probably is it my workflow templates? Workflows right here. So you see right here where it's New York eviction test right here. We had several different nodes where we first went to a page, we went to the evictions, we extracted 9 different categories of information, and then we had an output that it made it a CSV file. If you look at it, we ran it in the logs right here, we succeeded, and then we got the results. It was in 3 steps. Here you can see how it runs, and you can actually see when you start, it will actually spin up a website, it will go through it, and then be able to, again, scrape what we need to get done. That's great. So what did we do next? Well, it also allows you to have integrations with Make and N8N. I use Make, and so what I did was I looked at Make and saw what it could do. It could make an API call, so it performs a authorized API call, or start a new task and returns an ID for tracking its progress. So what I did was I did run a workflow, and if we look over here, I now have Browser Act already. I integrated it. I created a token and connected it to my account, and now I'm going to also be able to run it and then connect it to something else. So what I want to do is connect it to Slack. And what I'm going to do is I want it to send a message to me. So it's asking, can it connect? Connect right now. I'm going to do a Slack bot, and we'll go from here in a second. But basically, I'm going to have it send me a message and say, hey, this is what I found. Here are the results right here. So I'm going to connect Browser Act to Slack, and it's going to scrape data. I want it to probably scrape the RSS feed of Product Hunt, and then tell me what's going on with the top 5 products of the day, and it sends it to me in a summary. That's what I'm going to do. So that is what I'm working on over here. Now the question is, Paul mentioned crypto and AI, machine learning, sir. Oh man, you're doing everything. Got a little bit of everything going on with Web3. So that's really good. Congratulations. Thank you so much for joining and being here. What I would do is to let us know your goal, Paul, of what you're doing in this space, because there's a lot of different ways that you could do this. How do you want to participate in the space? Do you want to be a builder? Do you want to be part of a community? Do you want to be a community manager? Are you learning how to use crypto, or doing stuff with DAOs? What's your main thing? Last week we had a lot of people that were asking me about DAOs, which people haven't asked me about DAOs in like 4 years. So I'm like, oh, it's on an upswing of crypto going on right now. So let us know what you're trying to do. But I would always encourage you, if you're getting started in the Web3 space and you want to participate, I would look at building a simple application or understanding what is out there. And one of the biggest things that I would look at is probably third web. This allows you to build the next like generation of products. But really, if you're trying to do DAOs, if you're trying to do tons of different things, third web allows you to do this in a secure way. We've done this in the past, creating different projects. If anyone has been with me since like 2020 and 2021, you know that we used to build DAOs, we used to build NFT projects and everything. Learn the basics to see how you can then build whatever you'd like that works for you. Don't always just chase a trend. It's okay if you look at trends as inspiration, but really don't. This is easier said than done. Don't worry about FOMO. Don't worry about that you have to buy this NFT or do this kind of protocol. Just start learning and building out projects to see what you like and what you don't like. And then that allows you to decide how you want to participate in the space, what you want to build. And you can then become a advisor, a developer, a community member, a community manager, and whatever you're trying to do. So let us know if that makes sense, if you have questions, if you're trying to do something specific. But I would say don't just jump into a Discord, learn how to build something. And shout out to BuildShip back in the day. Man, that was a great program. But if you want to learn how to use it, try it out. Let us know, Paul, and go from there. If you have any questions, let us know. Okay, Dominic, as I'm talking about that, anything you want to add as I'm going through this?
No, I was just taking a look at the results of my I was taking a look at the results, trying to add it, because you always have to be a little bit skeptical of AI.
Yeah,
And so
for
I'm
sure.
using AI to generate results. And it believes, so how long have we got? It believes Kash Patel will leave the Trump administration before Jan the 1st.
January 1st of
Yeah,
this year?
yeah, yeah. I'm a little, that's next week. I'm skeptical.
Hey, do you want to share your screen or do you want to
I'll share what I have so far. So I am, yeah, you can, I think it's still sharing. So
yeah, let me stop sharing mine and go back. And real quick, Paul, thanks so much. He says, "All right, Doc, we'll get to understand the basics and we'll get back to you, sir. Really appreciate it. No problem. Keep us posted. And again, be curious, start building, and then go from there. The more you build, the better you equipped you're going to be to move in this new and wacky world. Really, everything's changing so quick. So, thanks so much, Paul, for being here. Continue to ask us questions. Over to you, Dominic. What do you got over there?
yeah, so let's take another prediction.
And
Uh,
walk through to the good people. What did you end up building? Could you show what you built to?
yeah, so we have a system that takes Kelshi predictions and finds underpriced or overpriced opportunities. Obviously, it's looking for arbitrage. It's looking for underpriced opportunities where you can place your prediction. And the system, I just got rid of the tab, but the system we're adding is we believe there are subtle indicators that things will happen before they happen. For example, if you are at a company and all these high level executives start leaving, you know something's going on, especially executives that have been there for a long time. Something's happening. If you take OpenAI, you had all the former CTO and all these people started to leave. There was a shakeup going on. There was things going on internally with OpenAI. And that's the same with any organization. I believe it's the same in sports. It's the same in lots of different areas. You know, if LeBron James or when LeBron James came to Miami, you know, there's certain things that are going to happen. So I believe before any particular event happens, there's always subtle indicators. Earlier, I spoke about war. Before war is even announced, the preparations of war are done long in advance of that. Um, some will say we're at war now, or even the US is at war now with all these different countries. But tariffs are almost like a precursor to that. So you might use that as a soft indicator. So what this is doing is trying to apply that system. And what I was doing was reading the AI's reasoning. So if we grab this one, who will Trump pardon this year? So we're going to grab that. We're going to paste this. And it says it's cross-referencing social media, pivots, domain registries, and staff movements. I don't think it's doing all of that, but that's what it says it's doing. And this is Gemini. I think it's Gemini 3 in the background. So Gemini 3 is doing this, apparently. This is always the important thing with AI applications. You have to really test the output and cross-reference the output. And does it sound right? Does it kind of pass the eye test? Is it actually right, or is it just lying?
Always.
So yeah, it shouldn't take that long. So let's see. So I'm laughing because it says uh, the most significant indicator is the sudden vision content shift from rapper Nicki Minaj, who appeared at America Fest conference to express public support for the Trump Vance administration. This pivot, combined by cryptic posts on X, matches the candidate scrubbing social pivot profile for individuals seeking executive clemency.
That's pretty interesting that I have to make sure. Well, if that's an indication of what Nicki Minaj is doing and it has that much weight, I think that also scares me what is in store for humankind.
It's talking about Trump's own Truth Social activity, um,
That's funny.
focused on correcting injustices and attacking previous administration pardons. But how is that related to who Trump will pardon this year?
Can you ask
So
that question?
I'm gonna ask it to like this is what it should be predicting, right? Like it's looking at the spread analysis and it is getting the right information, I believe. So yeah, it should be doing this is what I wanted it to do. It doesn't actually seem to be doing that. So a lot of the time when I come on here, I usually build multiple things really quickly. And today we can't seem to get anything working. And sometimes it's like that. So this is not working how I want it to work.
And that
And
happens.
maybe it's the idea, maybe it's how I am applying the technology, maybe it's because I am using a lot of AI here, and maybe some of this needs to be a little less AI. So if I was to do a little less AI, what I would say, you know me, sometimes I use make in the background. I say,
Mhm.
hey, first get all the content from this web page, and it will get all the content from this web page. And then I would say, in another module in Make, I would say apply this framework to analyze all this content on this web page. And then I'll say, hey, from your analysis, make a prediction on the undervalued opportunities.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Let me. But this also, I think, is very impactful to show people your thought process of going through it. Because guess what? Every time we do this, it's like you're not gonna be able to generate this every single time because
Yeah.
it's AI and these things happen. So I think it's still very valuable to see the process, how you thought of the idea, the concept, and then going step by step.
If I show you something that did work, and hopefully it's still working, it was built in Base 44. So I've spoken on this platform about Base 44 a lot. If we can find it, okay, this is it here. So what this is doing is a similar thing, but it's analyzing social sentiment from YouTube to inform prediction market research. So we can take that same who will Trump pardon this year, and it does need a little bit more work, but we're going to go and find a YouTube video. Okay, maybe this. Oh, sorry.
No worries.
And what it's going to do is going to grab the top comments. Now, the top comments here are related to members of the video, but let's just see what it does. We can add multiple videos too, so we'll grab that. Let's grab a random video. And what it's doing is using comments, and let's just type in CNN. Okay. And what we're doing is analyzing the sentiment of the video to determine what we should do in terms of prediction markets. Again, we're analyzing who will President Trump pardon this year. And again, this is analyzing the 30 comments. There's lots of disapproval of Trump, calls for accountability, criticism of the Department of Justice, sense of anger, and is bearish on Trump's actions. Let's see. What I do expect it to say is saying the social media sentiment acts as a leading indicator. But what I expected it to say is, hey, this doesn't impact this particular. This is not going to impact this particular prediction. Because the prediction is who is Trump is going to pardon. So what we want it to do is analyze all of these and say, hey, these are the people. So I might even come into base 44 and say, look, you need to be analyzing, I don't know what this is called. If I go back. It needs to be analyzing the odds and chances. And that's how it's gonna make a good assessment. But what it's using is browser use to get the YouTube comments. So we have this YouTube comment extractor. And maybe that's why my skills are failing. There might be something going on right now. Yeah, there might be something going on. I wasn't able to create the skills earlier, and now I can't open that skill. And I can't open that skill. So there might be something going on, which is why they were failing.
Yeah.
So again, it's more about how you think about some of these solutions and how you think about using the technology. AI is still very, very, it can be unpredictable at times, like you see here. Predict outcome, no. It's not a yes or no question. It's a who question. So yeah.
No, that makes sense. And this helps us to see what it takes to think about, what we need to think about as we're doing these things. I don't think if it's failing, that's one thing, that's all right, but that still allows us to really start thinking about how we can make this. What sections do we need to improve? What's fragile? what can break in AI? And then moving on from there. So no, I think this works really well. Let's see. I'm going to share my screen in a moment.
Yeah.
How many tools are you usually working on? How many different things do you try out in a week, do you think, on average?
Oh, tons. Because I'm making content about them too.
Yeah.
So the most recent video I posted was about let's see. Was about this for simulating hardware.
What?
So I was showing people how to simulate hardware. You haven't got hardware devices. This is how you can simulate hardware. And I don't know. The one I had is gone now, but in the video I had, I created a parking alert simulator. You know, like when you reverse and you're too close and it beeps really loud. So I'm trying lots of different tools all the time, but I do have my go-tos. So almost every time I've been on the stream with you, I've spoken about Base 44. There's certain tools I use a lot more than others. If we go to AI Studio, you will see in my apps, I have all these different apps experimented with. So there are things I'm using more than others.
What do you think about Base 44? Do you like where they're going since they've been bought? Is it kind of just on pace?
I like it because I think it's the easiest
Hmm.
to get started. Like to make a lot of little small things is super easy. If we again open, just go to my portfolio, or even just go to, I shared this with you a little bit earlier. So this portfolio site is on my subdomain, and it was made with Base 44. And then there's projects inside of that was made with Base 44. So if we go to volleyball, this project was made with Base 44, and it analyzes a video of you spiking a volleyball. Well, that was the sample video, but you should be able to upload a video of you spiking a volleyball, and it will provide you analysis. Oh, you might enjoy this one, Doc. So when we're talking about the greatest basketball players, what do you prioritize? Do you prioritize championships, MVP awards, scoring titles, cultural impact?
I want rings, bro. I only care about rings.
So we got championship. Let's just stick with this. Championship, peak dominance, playoff performance, and then the AI generates a ranking for you. So who would you say is your number one before we even pull that out? Who would
Bill
you say?
Russell. I don't have to look at it, bro.
Who's your number two?
Oh, see, that's tough. That's tough because if we go modern, I'll probably go MJ and then probably LeBron.
Yeah.
See, this is tough. This is tough. I don't want to give LeBron too much credit, but I'd probably go with modern, probably MJ, then LeBron, then Kobe. I know some people are gonna get mad right now.
It put MJ first, and I think the reason it put MJ first, the reason it put MJ first because it wasn't just ranking rings, it was ranking peak dominance too and something else. So it's ranking multiple different categories. So it's got MJ, Bill Russell, Kareem, LeBron, Magic.
Makes sense with Magic.
Do you think that's fair? So yeah. But this was built with Base 44.
I like that. I like that.
This was built with Base 44.
You did Base, and then what did you use? Either Claude, or did you use Anthropic or Open?
Gemini.
Oh, I've got to do more. You're the champion of Gemini right now.
Yeah, Gemini is very impressive. This one's a little bit different. So I'm a sports agent, and I get lots of people that don't quite fit the people I would represent, and still want to help them. So if we go to, let's just find a player, my friend. So a lot of professional basketball players have like their professional basketball CV online, and this page isn't loading right now, which is interesting. Do you hear me okay?
No, I got you. Sorry. I missed you for a second.
I think it might be my internet because this page is not loading. But I was saying I got a friend that's a professional basketball player, and in basketball you have on Eurobasket you're typically going to have your CV. And what this does, you enter the player's CV, and what it's going to do again is using Gemini to analyze their basketball market fit, and this is kind of what I'm calling it,
What
based
does CV stand for?
on curriculum vitae, like resume.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
same
Mhm.
thing. I think we say CV over
I was like, what in the world?
here. So it says, hey, what works in your favor? Potential weaknesses, how
Ooh,
to improve, what leagues work for you right now, what leagues don't work for you right now.
I like that.
Again, this is base 44 right here in Gemini.
Maybe I should stop acting so, uppity
Yeah,
about it.
base 44 and Gemini. You know, a big fan with Chip, a fan of Chip.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And
like chat based.
actually, so let's Chip have an interesting new feature. So I'm going to unshare then share so you can hear my audio.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Um, can you hear me okay?
Okay, I got you. Let me bring it up on stage. Okay.
So this is Chip. Chip is a platform for creating agents, like AI agents. And what you can do is use them to generate leads and capture leads. Here, I have created a virtual sports agent for people that I can't assist all the time. Maybe it's early hours, maybe it's late hours, maybe I'm just busy, and they can talk to my virtual assistant. And what they've introduced is a really cool feature that's new. Is you can start a voice conversation. So I'm going to enable the microphone, hopefully. Hey, can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. Let's get right into it. What's on your mind about playing pro basketball?
I want to play in the NBA for the Houston Rockets.
I hear you. The NBA is a top destination, but it's one of the toughest leagues to break into. Let's be realistic. The competition is global, and they have limited roster spots. Now, let's focus on your pathway. Are you currently playing college ball, high school, or overseas? Your age, your resume, your position, and your experience level will all shape the right steps.
I'm actually 31 and I play in the UK. Play 3x3 at a high level, but 5v5, not so much.
Understood. At 31, you're in the veteran age range for a pro career. Playing 3x3 at a high level shows you've got skills, but 5-on-5 is different in terms of conditioning, systems, and roles. We'll need to figure out how you can pivot from 3x3 to getting exposure in full court 5-on-5 settings. Are you affiliated with any clubs or national leagues in the UK right now?
Oh yeah, most of them, but the US is a little different.
Got it. The US system is a different ballgame.
So yeah, I think you get the point.
That's pretty funny. I like that. I like that.
And that's
Um,
it. So when you talk about tools, there are certain go-to tools I use, but I am exploring and experimenting with a lot of different tools.
I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. It reminds me of there's one that's a really good experience actually. I'm thinking about Vappy and Thoughtly and everything, but
Mhm.
it's already built in right there with Chip to have that as an option for your knowledge base.
Yeah,
I like that. See that even with the basketball thing, I think that would be great for like we were just helping for sports business classroom for the National Basketball Association to get your agent's license. And so they're
yeah,
getting ready to pass that test. So I think about using tools like this that will help agents that are ready to take the test or getting ready to
yeah.
really start interacting and getting going that way. So that's interesting. That's a great use case.
Yeah, definitely.
Can I show you one thing real quick?
Yeah.
As we're coming up on your time, and thank you so much for your time and attention here, but you've got things to do and it's early in the morning over there. Let me switch real quick screens, and I want to show you, I was doing a couple things. And so I'm messing around with Browser Act. I got a couple things. I did NYC evictions. I did top 5 product hunt projects right here. I got it connected right here, but I'm doing a rookie mistake. Could you help me with this real quick? You see how I've got the there's 2 different actions that you can do with Browser Act. So the 2 different ones would be make an API call, so perform an authorized API, or start a new task and return an ID. Could you define, like, you see where it says execution ID? Am I thinking of this wrong right here with the ID, because it's not returning the values that I'm looking at here? Am I thinking of this wrong?
You're looking for product hunt RSS. So you want to put the RSS feed there, right?
What I want to do is, let me show you what I did. I want just for it to return the top 5 results. And so I have it connected right now to this project in Browser Act. So I have my workflows top 5. This is the workflow. I want it to output, because I have it in my logs. I see that it succeeded, and I can look at the details.
And you can see it.
Yeah, you see, it gives me what I want.
And then you go to make. Let's go to make.
And am I just picking the wrong selection? I'm doing the variable as an execution ID.
It wouldn't be execution ID.
What would I? Yeah.
So run it once.
Okay. Just run it naturally. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what it's gonna send Slack, but that's not the point. Let's see.
Let me pull up my messages. It says, here are the product results of the day, and then it's just a string of numbers.
Yeah, it sent it already.
I'm looking at the past one that I just tried. I'm waiting for what it says again.
Okay, good. Oh, it's not finished.
That's a long thing for it to do. Okay. Yep.
Now click on the one above Browser Act.
This one right here.
And go to output. Like the output above status, below ID. Under bundle one, there's output bundle 1 ID. That output files. Let's scroll down again. Maybe live URL info? No. Steps, maybe?
Succeed, navigate, screenshots.
This might not be the right action, because the output that we want the output. We need to be able to see the output. We can't actually see the output. So we can trigger the workflow, but we need the output of the workflow. Can you create a module between Slack and Browser Act? Is there another Browser Act module?
There is one more. How do I create one in between?
You
Add
should be,
module.
yeah.
There we go. Okay, so what we have is just two. Starts a new task and returns an ID for tracking, or perform an arbitrary authorized API call.
Let's add that one.
So
And
now,
the URL, I think the URL might be the live URL there.
this one.
No, just above.
Oh, I see it. Hold on one second.
And let's try that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just try that. Hit save. I'm not sure if you need anything else.
You think I should cut this one out? Just
No,
delete
no,
it?
no. Leave that, because that triggers the workflow. It triggers the workflow, but it doesn't return the data. It just
Gotcha.
returns the workflow ID. And then you have to go and get the data from that live URL, right?
Yep. So leave it here and then trigger it again and see what happens?
Yeah, and trigger it again. And my hope is that now Browse Act is going to, that second module is going to return the data you want. And with it returning the data you want, now you can put that's what you would put in Slack.
Nice. Oh, and you know what? I probably might have to change what it says. Yeah, in the Slack module once I get that one too, maybe.
Yeah, but it's okay. Like right now, we just need to see if it can return the data we want.
Highness, real quick, thanks so much for being here. We appreciate you being here. Ask any questions as we're finishing up here. We're looking at, again, a bunch of scraping tools, a bunch of automations. You know what we do on this channel. We're testing out a bunch of things, so let us know. Okay. It says operation failed.
Okay, go to that.
No static resource. Interesting.
It would be get. I would actually go to the API docs and see. Go to the API docs for Make and see how the Browse Act API docs for Make. They should have it. Oh, I'll open it.
Hold on one second. Let me grab it. Okay.
Saying.
Second.
It's saying that you have to pass the JSON. Yeah, it's saying that you have to pass the JSON.
Interesting. Let's see about this. You know what? And then also too, now that I think about it, let me go back here then. If that's the case, in the templates, let me go to workflow. I have it having an output as a CSV, not JSON.
Oh, that might be a core of the issue. So you want it as a JSON.
Let's do that again.
And that's probably why it's giving you a URL too. So just run that first module.
Run just the first one.
Yeah.
The devil's in the details. I got to start reading. Got to start reading it better.
And then I don't think you're going to need that second one, but I do think you're going to need to pass the JSON. Yeah, you're going to need to pass the JSON.
Tell me more.
So it's giving you information. So it's giving you information. Anytime you make a request via an API, there's a certain language the two systems use to communicate. So you use a certain language to request information, and it uses certain language to send it back. And this is JSON. And okay, let's go to output. Under bundle, lower. Yeah. No, we don't want files. Keep scrolling down. Interesting. So what we're looking for is the actual data, and it doesn't seem to be sending your actual data back.
Fascinating.
So when it sends back the JSON, what you need, you might not need all of it. You probably don't need all of the stuff it sends back. You just need a certain part of it. So you're going to extract that certain part. You're going to pass that certain part of it.
All right. To be continued on this. To be continued. As people can see, this is what we do. We're testing out these things. And again, it's how the different tools work together. They also have, I'm going to look at it, different ways to do it with their MCPs as well, or how to do that as well. So I'm going to look at the guide, take a look at using that and seeing how you can be using the MCPs and possibly putting that into Make as well.
Yeah.
So to be continued. I'm going to work on this and I'm going to let you know about this soon. So real quick, everyone, let us know if you like this kind of stuff. If you want us to talk about a very specific tool, maybe if we want to do a breakdown, maybe of like a tutorial, how to use Firecrawl next time or something specific. I'm also going to do something about Dreamflow coming up. So let us know what you're looking to do. And then we're going to have this again. So remember, everyone, make sure if you're watching this, you like and subscribe. We do this every single week. Make sure to all of Dominic's links will be in the chat below. Check out his YouTube channel. He's doing some crazy stuff on his channel as well. And of course, Dominic, thank you so much for being here. And we will be seeing you later this week. So thank you again for being here.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.